So 2 Corinthians 13:5 says, examine yourselves. So we have to stop right there because we spend a lot of time examining other people. We examine our lords, we examine our children, we examine sisters in the body, we examine leadership, but we actually need to take the time to examine ourselves first. Before we can even focus on if anybody else is doing right or wrong, we got to look at ourselves and say, okay, am I right? So it says, examine yourselves. And I'm sorry, I lost my place, y'all. Whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves. So it says, prove yourself. What do you prove yourself against? You prove yourself against the scriptures. So, okay, you was talking back to your Lord. When you prove yourself against the scriptures, are you right or you wrong? It doesn't really matter why you were talking back and how wrong he was, right? The scriptures don't say, obey your Lord as long as he's right. I know we wish it said that. It doesn't say that though. So we got to throw that away. So you have to prove yourself. Know ye not your own selves. Hold on, I keep losing my place. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. So in order for you to renew your mind, you have to first know what's in your mind. What did you walk into this truth with? What were your preconceived notions? What were your thoughts? So let's read another one, Ephesians 4. Let's go there. So we're going to read Ephesians 4, verses 22 through 24. So verse 22 says, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lust. As I can't speak for y'all, but I know for me, definitely had deceitful lust inside of me because I really desired to be the leader in my household. That was my deceitful lust, right? That's very deceiving to think that it's supposed to be 50-50 because there's really no such thing. Somebody has to make decisions and somebody has to follow. It's not his vision, sis, that's your vision. So you know what? Babe, have you ever thought about starting your own shop? Nah, not really. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If you ever decide, I would support you. And walk away, right? Am I saying you can never talk about it again? No, I'm not. But what I'm telling you is you cannot sit there and be like, you need to open your own shop. You lazy. You need to open your own shop. You just don't want to do it because you know you're going to have to work more than 9 to 5. You need to, no, ma'am, that's not your role. It's not. So you cannot pressure him to get a new job. You cannot do anything or say anything that does not align with his righteous vision for your family. All you're going to do is make him feel like you think of him as less than and that you don't believe in him, and you're supposed to be his biggest cheerleader. So you have to have a mindset of, babe, whether you work a 9 to 5 or whether you want to open your own body shop, I support you either way. Just know I believe in you. And this is coming from somebody who's had this conversation. I had to assure my Lord, assure him many, many times over multiple years that if we lost all of our money with him trying to pursue his vision, I would be okay. I'm like, well, look, we started off in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? That's where we started. And went the nice one. Okay. And I'm not saying that you get to have the authority over your Lord to tell him where to have that conversation, but I'm saying it is your job, again, as his wife, to learn how to calm those situations down and be like, you know what, babe, let's talk in the room. Let's go on the fire escape. Let's go talk outside. Let's go sit in the car. The car is a great place, right? Because then you can like really have your conversation without being worried about being overheard. So this goes back to that covert incest class I told y'all to watch a few months back. So if you have not seen it, just type in IUIC covert incest and watch that class. because you are doing a great damage to your children by treating them like they're your confidants to your marital problems. Your children should not be your confidant to any of your problems. None. They should be children. They don't have to take sides. They don't have to be witnesses. They don't have to be any of that for you. You are an adult. You are a grown woman. Your sons are not your husbands. So again, this is something I've heard more than I care to hear about sisters who are taking their teenage sons and they're like, oh, I'm just preparing myself for when I get a Lord. So I'm serving my son and treating my son like he's my Lord and doing this, and that. So I'm going to read Sirach chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, for the Lord hath given the father honor over the children and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. You have authority over your sons. They are your child. They are not your husband. They're not your best friend. That's how we end up with these weak little boys. No, ma'am. I'm not saying you can't serve him his food before you serve your daughter. I'm not saying that. But again, they're not your confidant. They're not supposed to be in your house making adult decisions. And while they're pulling up that article, I just want to reiterate, I understand sometimes, we all deal with different things in our marriages. All of our lords are different. They all have different hangups. Make sure that you know and you figure out how to help your Lord through those hangups. So I just want to read a little bit of this article that a sister posted in our chat today. It says Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson on their 41-year marriage. We made a pact to stay together. So can you scroll down for me? So she said that people have been asking them how they stayed together so long. So she says, in the beginning, we always said the most revolutionary thing that Black people could do was stay together, raise their children with the nucleus of having a father and a mother, since everybody likes to pretend that that's not the dynamic of the African-American family. That is just children out here being raised by women, which we know is false, says LaTanya. In order to change that narrative, we made a decision to say, we are going to stay together no matter what. We'll figure it out. How many of you have made that pact in your mind, in your heart? How many of you? Oh, wait, can you go to the picture, sis? And look at these folks. They are in their 70s. I had no idea that they were that old. 70s. They look really, really good. So scroll on down. See what you look like when you ain't ran through? You can get older and still look good, okay? So, and that's just what they did, but it hasn't always been easy. I'm sure that's what it means, especially when Samuel became addicted to drugs and was unable to be there emotionally for his family. It was LaTanya who helped him get into rehab in the early 90s. Samuel has now been in recovery for more than 30 years and credits his wife for helping change his life for the better. So, don't you think it took some renewing of their minds, right? Because the scriptures talk about a husband and a wife that agree together. They agreed from the very beginning they were going to stay together. This man got hooked on drugs. A lot of us would be like, oh no, I ain't signed up for that. I ain't signed up for that. I'm out. You know what? You smoke the TV, right? You smoke the TV. I'm out of here. But some kind of way, I don't know how, but some kind of way they made it through that. So sis, put your marriage in perspective. Put it in perspective. I know some of y'all have men that are not financially sound. I know that some of y'all are scared they're gonna have you living out the car. I know. It's not always easy in these marriages. But don't miss the transformation, okay? Renew your mind and play your role, because if you play your role right, you will make it through those hard times. And it will be you who will be able to say, I've been married for 41 years.
Oh, but first behold.